Now then everybody, so in today's video what I'm wanting to do is explore the pros and cons of video editing on a iPad Pro, which is my iPad Pro model from 2018. This is the 64GB version, and I've seen lots of YouTube videos recently popping up, especially with the introduction of the new iPad Air, which has got Apple's A14 processor in it, and also the iPhone 12s and things like that. And yeah, it got me thinking about tablet technology and whether or not I should revisit this platform to give it a go. So today I'm filming in 4K, and all the footage that's going to be shown in today's video is going to be edited in the iPad. If you never see this video, that's possibly because it's just been unachievable. Let's hope that doesn't happen. All I'm using today is a cheap Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, and also a pretty handy little USB-C tool here, which has got the SD card reader and all that kind of jazz, which I'll be using to export the footage later on. You guys are going to be able to watch that editing process as well, and I suppose I'll be revisiting you at the end of this video when I've probably cut this section of me talking to the camera together, and I'll be able to give you my kind of final thoughts, which I'll then re-edit after that point. So yeah, let's get started. The pros and cons of video editing on a iPad Pro, which is my iPad Pro model from 20. Now then everybody, so in today's video what I'm wanting to do is explore the pros and cons of video editing on a iPad Pro. So firstly, the fact that I'm essentially editing 4K footage, albeit not the most intensive 4K footage, still 4K footage in a tablet with relative ease. And by that I mean being able to scrub through it quite quickly. The playback was quite snappy. When I even added some effects that are quite labour intensive, such as the speed ramping and just slowing down the footage from 60 to 60 frames per second by 40%, it was handling it all really well, and that for me was pretty astounding. The experience of editing on a tablet was actually pretty decent, really seamless, and I was actually quite pleasantly surprised at the end when I came across some of the colour grading features that have been added to Premiere Rush. You don't just have to use their presets, you could then go into the edit tab of the preset and tweak the exposure, contrast and all that kind of stuff, which meant that I was able to balance those first couple of shots in the B-roll a lot better, and then added a little bit of one of the LUTs that were provided over the top of that as well. No slowdowns as well, so when I'm pressing play and scrolling through my timeline, there was no slowdowns, so that was really pleasantly surprising. Let's move on to the cons. So something which I think is really frustrating, and still is, it was like this when I tried before in the past, before the new OS updates, is when you're copying files from your memory card to the iPad, there's no progress bar. And I've heard other people mention this as a negative, and I've got to agree. When it came to the footage being copied across, it only took a couple of minutes for about 2 gigabytes worth of footage to be copied across. But yeah, I went and made myself a cup of coffee and then came back, and it was still sort of twirling. So that can throw you at first, especially if you're not sure whether or not the OS has crashed or whether or not it's actually working. If you just sit with it, eventually it will copy across. But a progress bar would be amazing. The other thing that I found a little bit annoying, and again, this isn't because, and I didn't want to expect too much using just an iPad, but when I pressed play, every so often it would take a couple of seconds to buffer before it would actually play back the footage. And when I started snipping the timeline up and dividing my single clip into multiple clips, I would find that it would really struggle then to play back smoothly, and I'd almost have to wait 30 seconds or so for it to actually jump back into action. And this got a bit quicker if I forced it to by moving the timeline up and down a few times to make it realise that I'm trying to work on that particular clip. Still, not a game changer, but definitely something to be aware of. So not really as snappy playback as I would have liked. But other than that, yeah, really solid experience. And to say that I've just edited a 4K timeline and not really had any massive hiccups, crashes, or anything like that, just kind of goes to show how powerful tablets have become. And this isn't a new tablet either. This is a few years old now, a couple of years old, and the new processors by Apple are supposed to be sort of even blazingly faster. So this is quite exciting. So yeah, all of this video has been made in an iPad using Premiere Rush with just a few accessories that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below as to whether it's surprised you as well, or maybe you're considering buying a second-hand iPad Pro or the new generation iPads, and potentially you might be looking into this for video editing as well. Let me know in the comment section. As always, guys, if you've not already done so, please like, subscribe to the channel. That really helps out, and I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.